There's one thing more painful than being ignored: being the man who never ignores anyone. The man who responds instantly, who gives attention freely, who never makes anyone earn his approval. You've been him, haven't you? You know exactly how it feels. You text back immediately, you nod at every word, you smile even when nothing's funny, and you think you're building connections. You believe you're showing kindness, openness, respect. But let me ask you this. When was the last time someone chased your approval? When was the last time they craved your attention, your validation, your presence? The harsh truth is, the more available you are, the less valuable you become. People don't remember the man who always answers, who's always there, who always listens. They remember the one who made them wait, the one whose silence felt like rejection, whose attention felt like victory. Because attention is currency, and most men are handing it out for free. They don't realize that every quick response, every eager gesture, every unnecessary word reduces their perceived value. It signals weakness, scarcity of options, desperation. It makes them forgettable. But a select few know something different. They discovered the power hidden inside deliberate silence. They learned how strategic ignoring triggers something primal in the human brain, an instinctive drive to earn approval, attention, recognition. They learned that the less attention they give, the more desperately people chase it. If you've spent your life chasing, pleasing, reacting, today you stop. Today you learn the silent trick to reverse the chase. Because ignoring strategically isn't rude. It's power. It's control. It's the subtle art of making others need you more than you need them. And once you master it, you'll never again be the one left waiting for approval. If you're ready to flip the script and become the man people chase, subscribe now. This isn't a tip, it's the shift you've been waiting for. Before you speak a single word, the brain across from you has already measured your worth. It decides, instantly and subconsciously, if you're someone who matters or someone who can be safely ignored. And the most powerful signal that dictates this decision is scarcity. People want what they can't easily have. This isn't a cliche, it's neuroscience. When attention is freely available, its value collapses. But when your attention feels rare, difficult to capture, something inside their brain lights up. A primal instinct kicks in. The urge to earn, to prove, to fight for recognition. Think about how you feel when someone takes a long time to reply. That moment of uncertainty creates a powerful tension. Your mind races, imagining scenarios, second-guessing yourself, checking your phone again and again. And each passing moment amplifies their importance. They haven't said a word, yet you're chasing their approval. This isn't by accident, it's evolutionary wiring. Our ancestors survived by carefully managing attention and approval within the tribe. The man whose validation was hardest to win was seen as the strongest, the most valuable, the leader. Thousands of years later, your brain still searches for that man, craves his approval, desires his attention, and respects his silence. But most men today ignore this psychological truth. They give their attention away immediately, thinking it builds relationships. In reality, they're teaching the world to undervalue them. They're broadcasting a desperate signal. I'm always here, I'll always respond. You never have to earn me. And subconsciously, others place them at the bottom of the hierarchy. They become invisible, not because they're not worthy, but because they never made their worth scarce. If you want to be remembered, respected, chased, your attention can't be free. It must be deliberate, calculated, earned. Because when attention is scarce, respect is automatic. The next time someone seeks your reaction, slow down. Create that moment of tension. Let them feel uncertainty, anticipation, even doubt. Watch how quickly their need for your approval grows. Watch how their posture shifts. Watch them chase you silently. This is not manipulation. It's understanding human nature. And once you see it clearly, you'll never let yourself be taken for granted again. The moment someone realizes they can predict your reactions, they stop valuing them. They stop seeing you as a person of influence and start seeing you as predictable background noise. Your responses become expected, routine, insignificant. You become safe, harmless, and safety never generates desire. To reverse this, your attention must become unpredictable. Strategically withdraw it when they most expect a reaction. Respond selectively, deliberately, on your own timeline, not theirs. Not out of arrogance, but out of deliberate discipline. When they text you, don't rush. Take your time. When they speak, don't nod too quickly. Wait. Process. Pause. When they invite you, don't say yes immediately. Instead, introduce uncertainty. Say less. Hold silence. Delay decisions. Every time you hesitate, every moment you hold back your reaction, you trigger their need to resolve uncertainty. Their brain begins to question their own value in relation to yours. Why hasn't he responded? Is he upset? Did I say something wrong? That internal dialogue makes them lean forward emotionally, trying to regain certainty. You're not ignoring completely, you're calibrating attention. Give just enough response to keep them engaged, then withdraw slightly to keep them chasing. This rhythm creates a psychological loop, an emotional investment they can't easily break. In conversations, slow your speech slightly. In interactions, take pauses where others rush. When they expect you to laugh, hold a neutral gaze. Let the silence stretch. Let them fill it with their own insecurity. Soon, their subconscious associates your attention with value, your reactions with reward. Every small gesture from you feels earned. Every approval feels important. Because now your attention is a prize, not a given. They chase it without even understanding why. This is how you turn everyday interactions into subtle displays of authority. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer perform, you control. And once you master this dance of giving and withholding attention, you never again become the man they overlook. The most powerful person in the room isn't the loudest, he's the least reactive. When provoked, he remains calm. When challenged, he holds his gaze steady. He doesn't rush to defend himself or explain his actions. He waits. You see, the moment someone pushes your buttons and you instantly react, you've handed over control. You've told them exactly how to manipulate your emotions. You've become predictable, vulnerable, weak. But when your reaction is impossible to provoke, you become something else entirely. Unpredictable, untouchable, feared. Most men mistake reactivity for strength. They raise their voice, interrupt quickly, get defensive easily. They think this shows power. In reality, it reveals insecurity, an unconscious admission that their emotional state depends on others' approval or reactions. But the man who remains unreactive sends a completely different message. It says, "You can't move me." It says, "You don't control my state." This lack of reaction creates tension and mystery. Others start wondering what you're thinking, what you'll do next, how you'll respond, or if you'll respond at all. They feel uncertain, cautious, hesitant. And uncertainty is always where respect begins. Every encounter becomes a subtle psychological test. Will you flinch? Will you blink first? Will you show discomfort? Or will you remain perfectly still, unbothered, controlled? When you stop offering immediate reactions, you create a silent gravity that pulls others toward you. Try this. The next time someone says something intended to trigger you, hold your reaction. Don't flinch, don't defend, don't rush to explain. Just pause. Breathe slowly. Maintain eye contact. Watch their reaction instead. Watch as they second-guess their approach, as their confidence fades, as their words become uncertain. Your stillness forces them to fill the silence, to question their own intentions, to justify themselves. You're not confronting them, you're silently leading them to confront themselves. You're reversing the power dynamic without saying a word. Once you learn this skill, you become dangerous. Not because you threaten, but because you don't react. Because people sense your control, your quiet power, your emotional independence. They realize they can't manipulate or provoke you, and in that moment, respect becomes automatic. When your reaction is scarce, it becomes priceless. When your presence is unpredictable, it becomes magnetic. And once you experience the power of complete emotional control, you'll never hand your reactions to others again. Now let's take this into your everyday reality. Because theory alone won't shift your life, application will. Imagine you're in a group conversation. Someone asks your opinion, expecting a quick answer. Don't rush. Instead, pause deliberately. Let the anticipation build. Then respond slowly, intentionally, with fewer words. Watch how their body language shifts toward you. Notice their eyes narrowing, their heads tilting, their focus sharpening. You've just demonstrated value by controlling your reaction. In a professional environment, when someone sends you an urgent message demanding immediate response, wait. Resist the impulse to reply instantly. Allow time for them to second-guess their urgency, to question whether they phrased it right, to wonder how you'll respond. When you finally reply, be concise, precise, and calm. Your delayed reaction sends an unspoken message. Your time and attention must be earned, not assumed. Or consider dating scenarios. Instead of immediately agreeing to plans, introduce slight uncertainty. Say you'll check your schedule, even if you're free. The short period of waiting triggers emotional investment. Their mind fills with thoughts about you, anticipating your answer, imagining different outcomes. By withholding immediate confirmation, you become scarce, more valuable, more desirable. Even in small moments, like social media interactions, apply this principle. Don't instantly like, comment, or engage with every notification. Be selective. Be strategic. Let others notice your absence. Soon, they'll wonder why you haven't reacted. They'll start checking your profile, monitoring your interactions, craving your attention. These examples aren't tricks, they're deliberate shifts in behavior. They transform you from someone who's constantly chasing approval into someone whose approval is chased. Every delayed response, every controlled reaction, every intentional silence builds a subconscious signal of your worth. People quickly learn to value attention that isn't freely given. They instinctively adjust their behavior to win your validation. Your perceived status rises with every interaction. You become the standard they strive to reach, rather than just another voice competing for attention. Now tell me, when have you noticed this dynamic in your own life? Have you ever held back intentionally and felt the shift in how people treated you? Drop your experience in the comments. I want to hear your story. There comes a moment when you must choose who you'll be from now on. The man who reacts, or the man who makes others react. The man who chases, or the one who is chased. Every interaction going forward is your silent declaration of this new identity. No more quick responses out of insecurity. No more nervous explanations. From this moment forward, your attention is earned. Your reactions are selective. Your presence is felt before your voice is heard. You've spent years giving away your power, unknowingly, innocently, desperately. But now you see clearly. Your silence can be louder than words. Your stillness can shake the room. Your strategic absence can make others crave your presence. You no longer ask for validation. You grant it selectively. You no longer chase respect. You command it effortlessly. Your interactions now reflect your standards, not your needs, because you're no longer available for weakness, insecurity, or hesitation. From this moment, your world shifts permanently. People will sense the difference without knowing why. They'll respect your boundaries. They'll feel your authority. They'll chase your approval. Because now, your silence isn't empty. It's heavy, deliberate, and valuable. This isn't just a video you watched. It's a line you've drawn, a boundary you set, an identity you claim. You're no longer just another voice lost in the noise. You're the silence everyone listens for. So subscribe now if this is the life you choose. This isn't motivation. It's an identity shift. You're not here to be tolerated. You're here to be unforgettable. Welcome to the silent order. We don't speak to be heard. We speak so they never forget.